This is one of my Corkystem Passionvines, and I grow this one in a very large pot. And as you can see by the main stem, the base of the stem, it has these corky wings that come off of it, which is why it's called Corkystem Passionflower or Corkystem Passionflower. Gets small, greenish yellow flowers, followed by very small passion fruit. And they turn a deep purple when they're mature. This one happens to be intertwined with my scarlet morning glory. But they do well on just about any type of trellis. You can plant them around the base of trees and allow them to go up the tree. They do attach themselves by tendrils, but they're not super aggressive and can be controlled real easily. Here is another one of my Corkystem Passionflowers. This one was actually a rescue from a neighbor's yard. It had grown up right next to his pomegranate tree, which died following the water influx from the last hurricane. He pulled out what was left of the pomegranate tree along with this vine and put it out for the trash pickup. I managed to find the passion vine's roots and cut all but about a foot of its foliage and brought it over to my place and planted it next to my gate. And it's doing great. I've been giving it chicken manure tea and it loves it. Remember, when transplanting any plant, remove most of the upper vegetation to allow the plant to recover from the shock more easily. I know it sounds and looks really drastic, but it will allow the plant to spend its resources on growing roots and recover more quickly. This is one of the butterfly's favorites because for some reason it puts out a lot more foliage than the other ones. And maybe because I was fertilizing it more often to make sure that it survived the transplant. But at any rate, it's doing great on my chain link fence. This is part of the rescue vine. It's spread out over to my tangerine tree. It doesn't cause any damage to the tree. And once the caterpillars find it, most of it will be gone anyway, so I just leave it to its own devices. I've seen this vine in some areas where it can be a nuisance, but that's usually some place where people don't allow butterflies in their garden. So if you grow this for butterfly gardening, you really can't have enough of it. So most of the time, any place it's growing, I just let it be because it's a backup for food when they run out from wherever they were originally hatched. If you do run out of leaves, generally the caterpillars start to eat the outer portion of the stems, and that usually gets them large enough to their last instar, allowing them to pupate. So don't panic completely. I have heard some people use cucumber and melon, but I haven't tried it myself. But some people do use that as a substitute in an emergency. But I find it best just to have backup plants all over your garden. This pot initially started out as a place for me to germinate some Passiflora suberosa seeds. I threw a handful of seeds in there and just kind of basically forgot about it. So there's about 8 or 10 plants in there that I have never divided up. But the butterflies lay their eggs on it. So the caterpillars have been keeping it in check for me. So it hasn't become a problem, so I just let it grow where it is, and it seems to really enjoy it. It gets a little bit of runoff from the roof when it rains. And other than that, I occasionally give it chicken manure tea, and that's about it. So it doesn't take much to keep them growing. Corkystem Passionflower vine has extremely small flowers. They're about the size of a dime, and they're greenish yellow in color. They have the same structure as the large purple passion flowers, but they're much smaller, and their pollinators tend to be much smaller. This clip shows a very small tree ant getting nectar from the flower. This is what all butterfly gardeners want to see. A butterfly laying eggs on a host plant that they provided for them. It really is very satisfying. As you can see, the female butterfly finds the tender new tips of the plants to lay her eggs on, so that the baby caterpillars will have tender new foliage to eat when they hatch. Once they get a little larger, they can consume thicker foliage. This is the Corkystem Passionflower. It's a perennial vine that grows in part shade with dry soils. The leaves are variable and can be found with 2 or 3 lobes, or none at all. My experience has been that in Central Florida, our plants tend to have 3 lobes, and in South Florida, none at all. However, having said that, I have one specimen that actually has both leaf shapes on it. The greenish yellow flowers are about the size of a dime, and once pollinated, they produce small dark purple fruit. The seeds of the fruit have a gelatinous coating that gives it the distinctive passion fruit flavor. However, it would take a lot of tiny fruit to make any type of passion fruit punch, so you're probably better off sticking to the large purple passion fruit. It's a favorite host plant for zebra longwing butterflies. Zebra longwings prefer shady areas of the garden where they can stay cooler because they will overheat in full sun. So this vine is perfect for them. Gulf fritillaries do use this as a host plant, but if given the option, they do prefer the purple passionflower. The other two native passion flowers we have in Central Florida are the purple passionflower, Passiflora incarnata, and the yellow passionflower, Passiflora lutea.